special agent. He's a distinguished fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute and the author with Messing with the Enemy, Surviving a Social Media World of Hackers, Terrorists, Russians, and Fake News. Clint, good to see you, my old friend. I was speaking to one of your old colleagues the other day, Frank Figliuzzi, who suggests that this needs to be called what it is. It's cyber terrorism. It may not be the Russian government doing it, but it's Russians doing it completely with the sanction of the Russian government, and that the Russian government, if it wanted to, could stop this.
That's right, Ali. The code that they are using for this ransomware is designed to not attack computers that are communicating in the Russian language. So that's for not inside Russia. And when you look just more broadly, over the past 5 years, we've consistently seen that Russian criminal actors have been working part and parcel with Russian intelligence actors when it comes to hacking. And there's some curious timing with the breach we heard about related to the Republican National Convention in terms of Russian intelligence outlets at the same time, roughly, as we see these cyber criminals. So it's a two-pronged attack, but they are networked together. And so when you put that in total, Russia has a very firm grip on our cyberspace. They are not protecting, they're in no way afraid of violating our cyber sovereignty. And I think that's what that President Biden call was yesterday. He was sort of signaling that we would do the same, or essentially be in the same sort of step with them moving forward.
Let me play a little of what Frank talked to me about the other day about what the U.S. can or should be doing about this.
It's easier for us to say we need a tougher response. And yes, we do. But exactly what that response are and should be and what the repercussions will be, I'm not sure have been played out. And I'm not sure the American people understand that we are quietly going to war almost every day.
What do you think of that? What should the response be from the United States, given that Frank says we're quietly going to war each and every day?
Frank is right. Every day in cyberspace, we're at war. I don't think Americans entirely understand that. There's concepts called defending forward, or essentially, putting your sensors out forward. Those things have been underway for many years. I think part of the lag in the system and American knowledge of this is the last administration acted as if there was no cyberspace at all. Yeah, I mean, you just really couldn't hear about it. The best person on it, Tom Bossert, did not stay in office very long and was removed. So when you look at what's out there now, there are options, but they are more risky. And as Frank said, they have not been played out before. And that's where the U.S. is a little bit nervous. We have more surface area, as they would say, more targets in the United States that can be attacked. The consequences for the United States of going offline or having the industries go offline is dangerous. But at the same point, if you were Vladimir Putin, you would not stop at all, because nothing has ever happened to Russia for this. So I think offensive cyber attacks, particularly focused on the Russian criminal activity, if they are not respecting our cyber sovereignty, we don't need to respect theirs. And I think the meeting 3 weeks ago and the call yesterday are really indicative of President Biden saying, hey, you got to defend your turf. You got to police your turf. And if you don't, we'll do it for you. And I think we're at that point where there is no other option other than do some sort of cyber attack or cyber work against those Russian criminal groups.
Can that be done? I mean, as a novice at this, it strikes me that there is communication when there is a cyber hack, a ransomware attack. There is money, cryptocurrency that changes hands. There are accounts. Is this traceable?
To a degree, Ali. I think in that last attack was the first time we really saw the FBI went into some digital currency wallets and actually retrieved the money for the Colonial Pipeline attack. So that is a good sign, but that's not something that we can really rely on, because right now the profits for doing ransomware attacks are so incredible. Any criminal will move into that space and try and replicate that. Separately, I think it is the issue of where do you take these servers offline? And then what other countries? So a lot of times the servers that are being used, the infrastructure that's being used, it's not necessarily inside Russia. It could be in a third country. So if you're going in and doing offensive cyber operations, you're trying to eliminate this infrastructure, what other infrastructure of other countries is tied up in there? How can you nimbly do that? So a way to think about it is each time the U.S. government wants to do something like this in cyberspace, they have to almost design like a Osama bin Laden raid into a bot, but in the digital space, so that they're not creating collateral damage across all the rest of the cyber networks of other countries or inside Russia. Even if you wanted to limit it, you could go after that criminal group, but the criminal group, well, it operates inside of a town. What are the effects that would cause in the terms of the infrastructure of an entire country or even parts of Russia. It's a very complicated task, whereas the Russian cybercriminals, they don't think about it at all.
Clint, always good to talk to you about this. Thank you for joining us. Clint Watts is a former FBI special agent, distinguished fellow at the Foreign Policy Research Institute, and author of Messing with the Enemy, Surviving in a Social Media World of Hackers, Terrorists, Russians, and Fake News. We've got much more.